Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to program a Uniden BEARCAT BC125AT, specifically for listening to the Blue Angels. Now, I'm not going to go down the list because the list sometimes changes or we find out different frequencies, but I will show you the basics for programming a channel or two that you can take and apply to programming the rest of your radio. First of all, by default, the close call is turned on, and we know that because it's got this little C emblem right here. You want to turn that off because otherwise, even if you have it scanning for things that you're telling it to scan for, it'll interrupt your show when anybody nearby uses a two-way radio. So to turn that off, press the function key and press the hold button. It'll enter close call mode. Press down, which is the enter key, scroll up, tell it close call off. Scroll all the way down, select exit, and now when you press your hold button, you'll notice that the close call button is gone. Our graphic has it shown to put certain things in bank 1, bank 2, etc., so that you can isolate and turn on and off different groups of frequencies that you want to listen to. Let's set that up and show you how to set that up. So first of all, it defaults to bank 1-1, channel 1. Okay, the first thing we'll do in this example is we'll do the solo jets that are out of the box. The show box is the actual area in front of the crowd that the show is conducted in. That's a separate frequency. Let's, though, do the frequency that they use when they're out of that box and preparing for their next maneuvers. So here in bank 1-1, channel 1, we're going to press function. We're going to press program. We're going to enter frequency. The first one is going to be 237.800. Press enter, which is down on the top button. We're going to scroll down to edit tag. This allows us to name this channel so that when that comes up and is detected, it's a name that makes sense to us, so we're not having to memorize the frequencies. So again, this is going to be solos. You scroll through by turning the top knob. Use the arrow key, which is number 6, to go to the next character. Like this. Once you've got it to wherever you want it to say, just press enter again. Scroll all the way down this time and select exit. So now we've got solo out of box in channel 1. We want to do diamond out of box, for example, to stay in this first bank. You're just going to scroll one more to the right to channel 2. Same steps as last time. Frequency, program, enter frequency. This one is going to be 275.350. Enter, edit tag. Again, this is going to be diamond. And this is usually where you'll hear a boss talk about what's coming up next. This is also a good one to listen to on Sunday when we hear chatter 15 minutes ahead of time. This is usually what we hear it on. I'm just going to leave it as diamond for this example. Press enter, scroll all the way down to exit. So now we can rotate back to channel 1 and we can go to channel 2. So we've got two things in bank 1. During the practice, once you get the rest of this radio configured the way you like, press the hold button. That puts it into the scan mode. Notice at the bottom, it's got banks 1 and 2 currently lit. If you end up putting things in the additional banks, then you'll turn on channel bank 3, bank 4. I mean, you can turn on as many as you like, all the way up to 9 and 10. However, when you get those full of things, you do not want to have all of that turned on. You might miss something on one of the banks because it's scanning too broad of a spectrum. You might get interrupted by things. For example, if you decide, if you're in Pensacola and you put the Pensacola Tower on yours, you don't want to listen to that during a standard practice because standard practices don't involve PNS. And if you're listening to that, then that tower will interrupt your practice. So again, you'll kind of get the hang of what you're wanting to do as practice is going on. Depending on your strategy that you want to program your scanner, when you're in the program mode, we covered already how to put things into bank 1. These 2 items, for example, are in bank 1. If you want to put something into bank 2 or higher, you have to scroll to channel 51. 51 starts bank number 2. Scroll all the way to 51. Now do you see where it says bank 2-1? This is where you'll put the first thing that you want to exist in bank number 2. It's the exact same thing if you want to do bank number 3. You have to scroll up to channel 101. These are in banks of 50 channels. Notice how that changes to bank 3. This is where you would do function program and start to input your first item into bank number 3. It's a really good idea when you're programming your scanner to break your frequencies up into different banks depending on what they are. For best results, it's a good idea to sit down and either write out a list on a sheet of paper or make a small spreadsheet for yourself and decide beforehand what channels and banks you want to store your things, as well as what you want to call it. That way you have an index when you're done of the different saved channels you have and what you've decided to label them.
Thank you for following Blue Angels practice information on Facebook, your source for Pensacola area practices, beach buzzes, and air shows.